Hey y'all, good morning. All right, so I am coming to y'all real quick because I actually was having my own prayer and study time this morning. And so like when I do these little live streams, it's usually coming out of whatever it is I'm going through or whatever it is I was studying about this morning. So I was trying to study in peace since I have to go into work late, and God just kind of downloaded this little quick tidbit in my heart, and I'm only doing a live stream about it because of the simple fact that I'm so passionate about it, and because he kind of worked it out this morning in a way that I experienced it right before I started streaming y'all, and y'all ignored this terrible bump on my head. This Texas winter is like tearing my face and my skin up. Anyway, so this morning I was having prayer time with God, and one thing that I'm really struggling with right now, and a lot of people know, and a lot of people are going through it. I'm struggling with not going back to being the old me. And what I mean when I say being the old me, I mean I'm struggling with not doing what I want to do, how I used to do it, not doing my life my way. Because when you start walking with God, it's hard. It's extremely difficult. It's not about you anymore. It's not about what you'd prefer or what you want to be doing. When you start walking with God, it's about, okay, what is God's will for my life? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing for Him? What is it that He would have me do in this situation? How will He have me to handle this situation? And y'all, that's hard for me because number one, I'm stubborn, I'm impatient, and I just be like, Lord, I know you telling me to do this, but I'm really not in the mood to do it this way this morning. So what I prayed about this morning during my prayer time was just, Lord, I'm in this season where I'm uncomfortable. I'm having to learn how to do different things, and you're kind of leading me in different directions, and it's hard for me right now. It is completely terrifying for me right now. And so I was praying, and I was like, God, whatever happens, whatever you do, please do not let me go back to being the old me. I don't care if you have to tie me down to the altar. I don't care what you have to do. But my prayer this morning was, God, don't let me go back. Don't let me run back. Don't let me slip back into my old ways. Don't let me go running back to old familiar people and exes and relationships because I'm a little lonely. Like, Lord, whatever you do, don't let me go back. That was my prayer this morning, because I'm gonna tell y'all, especially for women, this bump, it is sometimes really difficult to be single, and then you finally get to a point where you start to level out and you start to understand what your single season is about. And so I finally have started understanding that. But the Bible says that the spirit is willing and the flesh is not. So like my spirit is completely always like, yeah, Lord, I'm good with my season of singleness. I just want to serve you. I just want to love you. I want to be passionate for you. But then my flesh is like, yeah, but we're a little lonely. And so this morning I was just really deep in prayer about it, and it was just so heavy on my heart. And I was like, Lord, I want to read the word this morning, but I don't even know what to read. I don't know where to go. And it's so crazy how the Holy Spirit will lead us, because while I was praying about what I was feeling, that's how God revealed to me what I needed to read in the word this morning. So people be like, I can't hear from God. I don't know how to hear God's voice. If you listen hard enough, God will Lord, this hurt. God will show you, and He'll show you in some of the craziest ways. Like, I didn't think that my prayer time this morning would reveal to me what I needed to go read. I was just praying about what I was feeling, and then I was like, oh, okay, Spirit, I hear you. So all that to say, what I'm coming to you about this morning is, don't turn back. Don't turn back. Don't go back where you came from. Don't make a U-turn and head back down that direction, because where you're going is difficult, or you're afraid. So while I was praying about that, God was like, I need you to go read out of the book of Exodus. Because a lot of us deal with this. A lot of us get into new seasons in our life, and we keep praying, God, reveal my purpose. God, show me what I'm supposed to be doing. God, lead me, guide me, each and every day. But then when He's trying to do that, we're so busy fighting for the thing that God just delivered us from. Like, we'll ask him to take us out of a relationship, and then as soon as we get out of it and we get a little lonely, we go running back to that person because it's familiar, or because we are a little lonely, or because we don't know how to be alone, or because we don't want to be alone. And so God is like, you've struggled with this your whole life. I will deliver you out of something. And then the minute that it gets hard or it gets uncomfortable, you go right back to the thing that I just took you out of. And I was like, God, I do that. Like, I've had a habit of that my whole entire life. And so God led me to the book of Exodus. And Exodus chapter 14, when Moses was trying his best to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And so I'm like, well, Lord, what exactly am I reading Exodus for? I knew that it was about Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt, and I knew that they had been in the wilderness for 40 years. I knew that they were complainers, but I had just sat and prayed to God about, God, help me, don't let me go back. Whatever you do, don't let me slip back into my old ways. I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to do right. And it's hard and it's uncomfortable, but I don't want to go back. So as I was praying that, and God was like, go read the book of Exodus. I'm like, Lord, what exactly am I reading Exodus for, God? Like, why? You're telling me to go read Exodus. I know it's about Moses bringing the Israelites out of Egypt, but what am I supposed to take out of it? So God was just like, didn't you just pray to me about not slipping back into your old ways? Didn't you just ask me to help you not go back to being your old self? This is why I want you to read it. So I started reading. Craziest thing in the world. Right after I said the prayer, I had somebody hit me up from my past. I promised. I had got done with my prayer time this morning. Literally 3 minutes later, somebody hit me up from my past. And I was like, ain't it crazy how we think we know when the devil is playing. We try to make it over spiritual. The devil is not overly spiritual with the way that he messes with you. He usually messes with you in the exact same way, and it's usually when he knows that you're in a vulnerable place. I said my prayer to God about not slipping back, and 3 minutes later, here came the devil. And I was like, you ain't slick. Like, I just got done praying to God about this. You're not slick. So this person hit me up and they asked, why did you block me? Why is it that I'm no longer, on your page or whatever? And I told him, I said, look, it's not that I'm being spiteful. It's not that I'm being hurtful, because I'm really not. But the Bible says that if your hand or your eye offends you, pluck it out, cut it off. And because I'm living for God and I'm trying to move forward, I can't afford for you to be on my Facebook. I can't afford for that distraction to pull me back into the very place that God just brought me out of. I've done that my whole life and I'm not doing it anymore. And though I care about you very much, though I will always love you, though I don't have any hard feelings for you, I can't allow you to be a part of my life anymore, because I can't allow my past to be a part of my life anymore. I can't let the thing that I asked God to bring me out of be the thing that keeps me from moving forward. So while I care about you, yes, I have to block you. No, I can't deal with you. No, I can't talk to you. No, you can't be on my Facebook. You can't be on my Twitter. You can't be a part of my life anymore, because it's a hindrance. It's a distraction from where I'm trying to go. And so I said, okay, devil, you just hit me with this test right after I prayed about slipping back. And God is like, this is why I'm telling you to go read Exodus. This is why I want you to share this word this morning, because too many people are out in the world, wanting to move forward desperately and having absolutely no idea to do it, wanting to move forward, wanting to come out of seasons, wanting to walk into something new. But then it's almost like as soon as we find ourselves on the edge of making some progress, the devil comes along with something from the past, with that late night text, with that I miss you, with that let's work it out, with that I'm ready to do right, with that I didn't mean it, I love you, with everything we want to hear. Because everything we want to hear, guess what, is everything that keeps us trapped. So God was like, go read Exodus, and as you start to read, you'll understand why I'm having you read it. So I started off at Exodus 14:10, and it's a trip because you're going to see what we do in the Israelites. And we can always see it when it's somebody else, but we can't ever see it when it's ourselves. So Exodus 14, chapter 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were afraid, and the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, have you brought us out of Egypt to die? Have you brought us into the wilderness and out of Egypt to die? So verse 11, the Israelites, and Moses is trying to help them. It's not like they've been in, Egypt, oppressed, beaten, enslaved for years. And God brought somebody to bring them out. And now the very person that God has brought the Israelites to bring them out, they complaining. They whining. So then, they don't believe God all this way. And as soon as Moses starts bringing them out of Egypt, they get to whining and crying because they look back and Pharaoh is chasing. Here come Pharaoh with 600 chariots coming after them. So they looking at Moses like, okay, like they said, in verse 11, Exodus chapter 14, verse 11, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die? Did you bring us into the wilderness to die? Did you bring us out of Egypt just to let us die out here? Is that what you did? And Moses said to them in Exodus 14, chapter 12, I'm sorry. No, the Israelites said to Moses, Exodus 14, verse 12, they said, did not we tell you to leave us alone? Didn't we tell you to leave us in Egypt? Didn't we tell you to leave us there? They said, is this not what we said to you? Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians, for it be better for us to serve the Egyptians and remain in bondage than to leave Egypt, be in the wilderness, and die. So basically what they telling Moses is, didn't we tell you when we was back in Egypt to leave us alone? Didn't we tell you that it was better for us to stay there and be stuck and beaten and oppressed and slaves than it was for us to brace something new, brace something unknown, step outside of what we're comfortable with, step outside of what we are used to and what we know? Didn't we tell you it was better for us to be stuck in the past than it was for us to embrace the future and be scared and possibly die or suffer? How many times do we ask God to bring us out of something? And the minute he starts bringing us out of it, we like, God, I wanted this, but this is hard. I wasn't expecting this to be this hard. Yeah, I wanted this new job, but I wasn't expecting to have to work these hours. I wasn't expecting to have to drive an extra 10 miles to make a little extra money. God, I did ask you for this, but it's a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just going to go back over here to where I've been. I'm just going to go back to what I'm used to. I'm going to go back to where I've been. I'm going to go back to doing what I used to do. Yeah, God, I asked you to bring me out of that relationship, and I told you that I loved you, but now I'm a little lonely. So I'm just going to go back to sleeping with random people because it makes me feel better. I'm just going to go back to doing everything I'm used to doing. Yeah, God, I asked you for your healing, and Lord, I want it so bad, but you're not moving fast enough, and I don't feel my healing, so I asked you to heal me, but you're not moving fast enough, and I don't feel it. So I'm just going to go back to drinking. I think that'll be a little bit easier. I'm going to go back to drinking. I'm going to go back to smoking. I'm going to go back to partying, because those things make me feel good immediately without ever having thought that though they may make you feel good for the moment because they're familiar and it's what you're used to, you're going to get to a point where it's just like drugs. It's just a hit. And it's very temporary, and then it goes away. So you see in Exodus chapter 14 that the Israelites, they've been oppressed for all these years in Egypt. But the second God brings them out, and they look back and they see Pharaoh and they get just a little scared. Now all of a sudden they want to go back to Egypt. Now all of a sudden, God, yeah, we asked to be delivered, but it would probably have been better for us to stay in Egypt, where we knew we wasn't going to die, where we knew we could expect certain food, where we knew we could expect to be, beaten a certain amount of times a day, than it was for us to bring us out here in this wilderness where we don't know if we're going to die. We don't know if we're going to make it to Canaan. We don't know what we're doing. We just out here in the wilderness. And so they're doing all this complaining while Moses is trying to lead them out. And Moses said to them, Exodus chapter 14, verse 13, he said, fear not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Okay, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. So basically, Moses is telling them, why are y'all tripping? God done brought us all this way. Y'all have seen him do all these wonders. He sent me to bring you out of the thing that's hurting you, the thing that's keeping you trapped, the thing that's holding you prisoner, okay? God done sent me to bring y'all out of all this, and y'all look back in the past and y'all see Moses coming, and you forget that God is God. You forget that he's already told you we're going to get to the other side, because you're still looking back. You're not even paying attention to what's in front of you, to the fact that we actually are further in front of Egypt and Pharaoh. You're not paying attention to what's in front of you because it looks a lot harder, and because you're so used to what's back here, you'd rather settle and be stuck than work a little bit harder to get a little bit further. And that's like that's the truth. That's what we do so many times. We keep asking God to take us here, take us there. God, deliver me from this. But as soon as he starts and it gets a little hard and it gets a little rocky, your money runs a little low, you got to drive a little further to get to that job. You got to do a little extra. You got to be a little bit uncomfortable and meet new people and talk to new people. Maybe you got to change your ways. We ask God to bring us out of stuff all the time. And then as soon as he starts bringing us out, we get to complaining. God, it's too hard. It hurts too bad. God, I don't see no changes right now. God, I don't feel no different than I was feeling. God, I know you said you would do this in your word, but I don't see it happening. Here's my question. At what point do we really start trusting God? At what point do we get tired enough of what we're going through to say, God, it's hard. I don't see no change right now. I don't feel no different. I don't even see the end. But I know that what you have for me is better than where I've been. I know that it used to feel really good to go out and party and drink and sleep with random people when I was single, because it made me feel wanted. It gave me the attention I wanted. It made me feel like I was doing something with my life. And so now that you're asking me to be still and stand still in this season and be single and serve you and read your Bible and be at home on a Friday night by myself with my Bible in my lap and talk to you, because you're asking me to do some things I'm not used to, I'm telling you I can't do it. Stop telling God you can't do what he has already told you you can do. Stop telling God, God, I can't be abstinent. God, I can't be celibate. God, I can't work there. God, I can't talk to them people. God, I can't drive that far. God, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Stop telling God he can't do his job. And then stop asking him to bring you out of the thing that you've been trapped in for so long. Stop asking God, God, deliver me. God, get me out of this. Oh, Lord, I can't take no more of this. God, take me somewhere else. God, move me to my next level. And then as soon as he starts doing it, you're unwilling to embrace the uncomfortability that comes with progress. You're unwilling to embrace God and hold his hand and stand your ground and say, God, you know what? I'm going to stand strong in you and in your mighty power. I'm going to stand firm in what I know you've already said to me. I might not see it and I might not feel it. I don't know what's going on, but because I know it's you, I would rather embrace this wilderness. I would rather walk through here and eat manna and locusts than to be in Egypt eating grapes and leftovers where it was comfortable. God, I would rather walk in the wilderness with you for a little bit and eat manna every day than I would be to be stuck in the past, to be stuck where it's comfortable. And so while I was praying about that this morning and I got that little test, and then God said, go read Exodus. And I'm reading Exodus 14 and I'm seeing how although God is delivering the Israelites, which is what they've wanted, they're still complaining because it's uncomfortable, because they're not used to it, because it seems hard, because they look back and their past seems to be catching up with them. I'm going to tell you something. When you get tired enough of being stuck where you are, you will move forward. I got so sick and tired of always needing somebody, of always depending on somebody, of always wanting somebody else to tell me I was good enough. I got this word, and I got to reading this word and finding out I really am worth it. What God called me from my mother's womb, he formed me. God gave me a purpose before I was ever born. You mean he thought enough about me? He thought I was good enough to tell me before I ever even came into existence that I had a reason for being here, that I had a purpose, that I had a destiny? What? You mean God looked at little old me and I wasn't even existed, wasn't even an egg in my mama's ovary? You mean God looked at me before I was ever even thought of and said, I'm going to use her to do this. I'm going to use him to do that. I'm going to send her here to touch these people. I'm going to work mighty through her. I'm going to work mightily through him. You mean God thought enough about me before I was born to say that I was worthy, to say that I was enough, to say that I had a purpose on this earth, to say that he had a plan for me? That's all the confidence I need. I'm single, and that is all the confidence I need. And I used to need somebody to tell me I was pretty, need somebody to tell me I was good enough, need somebody to tell me that I was wanted. But God said it right there. Baby girl, before you ever even got here, before your mama was born, before your daddy was born, before your grandma was born, I knew you. I formed you. You were already at work in my mind. I already knew who you were going to be. I knew the personality I was going to give you. I knew what I was going to need you to do. I knew what you were going to look like, what you were going to sound like, I knew everything about you. I knew what would make you mad. I knew what would hurt you. I knew what would make you smile. I knew all of this before you were ever born. And so that right there started giving me confidence that, boo-boo, you might not like me, but guess what? My God loved me before I even got here. My God knew who I was before I ever even got here. My God said I was going to do great things before I even got here. So now in my season of singleness, I don't need nobody, because I don't need anybody to tell me I'm who my God already told me I was. That's where you find your confidence, when the thing that God says about you is the thing you listen to over what everybody else got to say about you. And so in my season of singleness, I'm now looking back and realizing, man, all the things that I ever asked God to bring me out of, but as soon as it got a little uncomfortable, I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I want to do that. I might want to just go back to that dude that's not treating me right, because I'm really not in the mood to have to meet somebody new and reintroduce myself and start all over again. Oh God, I know I asked you for that new job, but that's a little bit further than I'm willing to drive. I don't make enough to even get the extra gas to go out there. Don't you know that if God is telling you to do it, He's giving you the resources? Don't you know that God is saying, I need you to go here? He's going to make the way. He's going to provide the way. He's going to give you the resources you need. He's going to prepare the people for when you get there. He's going to have it all laid out. So as I'm reading Exodus, I'm saying, oh, God, that's why you had me reading that, because I'm in a new season and it's uncomfortable. So now I'm tempted to slip back into my old ways. So it was just God saying to me, baby girl, I know it's hard. I know this is new. I know you're not used to this, but that's why I got you here. I'm trying to take you somewhere, but I can't take you there until I bring you through here. I can't get you to where I have you to be. Yes, I predestined you for something, but I can't even get you there if you don't let me build the things I need to build in you right now to take you there. There are some things I need that I don't have right now. And if I don't be still in this uncomfortable season and stop looking back at what I'm used to and looking back at what I think feels good and looking back at what's familiar, what I thought comforted me, if I don't quit looking back at where I was thinking, shoot, that was better. At least I knew what to expect. At least I knew this was what, if I stop looking at what's comfortable to me and I say, God, okay, this is uncomfortable and I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but I love you enough and I trust you enough that I'm going to embrace this season of uncomfortableness to get where I'm going. That's all I need. So all I'm saying here today is that stop asking God to deliver you and then turning back as soon as it gets hard. Turning back as soon as you don't understand, as soon as you don't see a way. You don't have to see it. Know that God made it. Trust Him to do what He said He's going to do. Trust Him to be God and fight for you. And you just keep moving forward. I know you want to do what you're used to doing, but I promise you, if you just in this season embrace where God has you and trust Him, it's going to all work out. So that's all I came to tell y'all this morning. I love you guys. I got to get ready to go to work. Y'all have a good day and happy Friday.